How to develop a mindset that can overcome anything. Stoic philosophy. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Life's toughest battles aren't fought in the outside world. They're waged within us, against self-doubt, fear, and frustration. The weight of expectations and life's relentless challenges can feel overwhelming. But imagine having a mindset so resilient that no setback, no obstacle, could shake your inner peace. This is the power of Stoic philosophy, a timeless guide to mastering your mind, building strength, and finding clarity in chaos. Today on Stoic in Your Life, we'll uncover practical ways to cultivate this unbreakable mindset. By the end of this video, you'll have a blueprint to face life's challenges with calm and confidence. If you're ready to rise above, hit subscribe, and let's dive in. 1. Building an unbreakable mindset. Every challenge you face offers a unique chance to refine your character and test the virtues you hold. Think about it. Every moment in life, from minor inconveniences to significant setbacks, can teach you something invaluable if you let it. Stoic philosophy holds that it's not what happens to us but how we respond that defines our lives. Imagine being stuck in traffic. Here, patience becomes an opportunity to grow, to practice peace in discomfort, or consider facing loss or heartbreak. Yes, it's painful, but it's also a moment to cultivate resilience and gratitude for what was shared. And in moments of fear, courage calls you forward, urging you to overcome and keep moving. These situations are not just obstacles. They are stepping stones on the path to personal mastery. To genuinely embrace challenges, it begins with shifting your perception. Instead of seeing difficulties as blocks to happiness, view them as instruments for growth. When things go wrong, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? This question, simple as it seems, allows you to reframe hardship, making it a teacher rather than an enemy. This shift isn't merely about finding the silver lining. It's about forging an inner strength that shines brightest under pressure. Imagine a demanding work project suddenly derailed by unexpected setbacks. Frustration is natural, but what if you saw this as a chance to become more adaptable, more resourceful? This perspective is at the heart of a Stoic mindset, seeing each setback as fuel to refine your character, not as a roadblock. Moreover, embracing challenges fully means staying engaged, present, and focused on what you can control. It's not about indifference or emotional detachment. Stoicism encourages us to feel deeply but respond wisely, channeling emotions in a way that serves both ourselves and our communities. When life throws hurdles your way, Stoic philosophy doesn't promise a smooth journey, but it does offer a purposeful one. Picture an athlete training rigorously to prepare for a competition. Every intense workout, every muscle ache, serves a purpose. It strengthens them. In the same way, life's challenges are a form of training for your mind, building resilience and character that will benefit not only you but also those around you. With each new trial, you're not just enduring, you're flourishing, growing stronger and more capable of facing the next challenge. Stoicism teaches about wealth, not just material wealth but wealth in character and wisdom. It reminds us that true riches are not in possessions, but in the quality of our thoughts, in the depth of our character. Reflect on the people you admire most in history. Figures like Marcus Aurelius, who led Rome through trials not with a focus on riches, but with groundbreaking ideas that continue to inspire. Or modern innovators who reshape society not through wealth alone, but through transformative visions. What made them influential wasn't just their resources, it was their insights, their perseverance, their ideas. Embracing a Stoic mindset that prioritizes wisdom and ideas, you're investing in something that goes beyond personal gain. You're building inner wealth that can positively impact others, creating a legacy of thought and resilience that inspires those around you. Imagine a modern leader who values character over profit, who seeks not only to achieve personal success but also to uplift and empower. This is the Stoic approach, focusing on internal growth over external accumulation. It's a reminder that the pursuit of material wealth alone is limited. The pursuit of wisdom, strength, and character is boundless. So the next time you're faced with a challenging situation, consider it more than just a hurdle. It's an invitation to grow, to deepen your resilience, to refine your thinking, and to contribute positively to the world around you. Let each moment be a lesson in strength and perspective, a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Are you accumulating possessions that will eventually fade, or are you developing a mindset that will serve you and those you influence for years to come? This is the essence of Stoicism, a reminder that the most valuable currency in life is not wealth, but wisdom and virtue. 2. Embracing change. Change is the very essence of life. It touches everything, from the smallest atom to the grandest human endeavor. For the Stoics, understanding that change is not only inevitable but essential is at the heart of wisdom. They teach us that embracing change is not a passive act. It's about stepping forward to meet it, ready to learn, grow, and be reshaped by it. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This fundamental Stoic principle urges us to focus on our own sphere of influence, our choices, reactions, and perspectives, rather than on external forces beyond our control. In this way, we don't just adapt to change, we harness it as a tool for personal growth. The energy we often spend trying to change things that lie outside our grasp, the behavior of others, past mistakes, or unpredictable events. Stoicism reminds us to shift that energy inward, to cultivate our own responses, and to focus on what we can truly affect, our mindset, actions, and character. Change often feels unsettling because it disrupts our comfort and security. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this well and offered a powerful image. Be like the rocky promontory against which the waves continually break. It stands firm while the tumult of the sea surrounds it. This vivid metaphor reminds us that resilience is not about resisting or fearing change, but about standing firm and steady, grounded in our values. When the waves of life crash around us, our strength comes from within, from a practiced steadiness that is not easily swayed by external turbulence. In modern life, where change comes at us faster than ever, be it technological advancements, job transitions, or shifts in personal relationships, developing this inner stability is essential. Do we build this kind of resilience? It begins by regularly assessing our responses to daily challenges. The Stoics recommend an internal audit as part of daily life, a moment to reflect on whether we are reacting emotionally or thoughtfully. Are our responses aligned with our values? Are we allowing fleeting feelings to dictate our actions, or are we acting with intention? This self-assessment not only helps us adapt to immediate changes, but also prepares us for future uncertainties. Consider the words of Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In this sense, adapting to change means more than simply reacting to it. It's about cultivating virtues that allow us to respond with wisdom, courage, and temperance no matter what the circumstance. Every change, whether a sudden hardship or an unexpected success, holds a lesson. A challenge tests our fortitude, pushing us to develop patience, empathy, and resilience. A success might tempt us toward pride, but it also gives us the chance to practice humility and gratitude. In each case, change becomes a mirror reflecting our character, offering us insight into who we are and who we can become. Living with this mindset, we no longer fear change but embrace it as a partner in our journey. Rather than clinging to rigid plans that resist the flow of life, we set our course based on our deepest values. Anchored in principles of justice, courage, and wisdom, our path becomes meaningful, not because it follows a preset plan, but because each step is deliberate. This Stoic approach to change doesn't promise a life free from uncertainty. Rather, it empowers us to find purpose and peace in navigating it. In a world where so much lies outside our control, Stoicism offers a profound truth. We may not choose the changes that come our way, but we can always choose how we respond to them. 3. Building a purpose-driven life with Stoic wisdom. The Stoics believed that to live a meaningful life we must ground ourselves in a purpose that goes beyond the fleeting distractions of daily life, a purpose that serves as a guiding force, or as they often described, a rudder steering a ship. Without a clear long-term vision, we risk being swept away by external events and impulses, left aimlessly reacting to whatever comes our way. A well-defined vision provides stability and direction, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with intention and resolve. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," emphasizing that every great journey begins with a clear vision of who we aspire to become. This isn't about a rigid, unchanging goal, but about creating a resilient path that can adapt to changes while staying true to our core values. To craft a long-term vision in a Stoic way, we start by reflecting deeply on what matters most. What do you value above all else? What kind of person do you wish to become, not just for yourself, but for the world around you? You might envision yourself as a lifelong learner dedicated to growth and positively impacting others. This vision serves as your compass, even as your circumstances shift, maybe through career changes, evolving relationships, or new social contexts. The essence of who you are striving to be remains constant, while the paths you take may change. This adaptability is crucial, as it allows your vision to remain both flexible and focused, a balance that helps you persevere in times of uncertainty. Part of this Stoic vision involves preparing mentally for both success and setbacks, an approach that Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This practice encourages us to anticipate obstacles, not to discourage us, but to strengthen our resilience. Seneca wrote, "The wise man looks to the future, but doesn't fret over it." This outlook promotes a kind of realistic optimism where we acknowledge the challenges we may face, while also believing in our capacity to endure and grow through them. By visualizing potential difficulties, we equip ourselves to handle them with grace, viewing each obstacle not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone that reinforces our resolve and adaptability on the journey toward our vision. Beyond visualizing, Stoicism teaches that our vision must be paired with concrete action. Dreams without actions are simply illusions. Achieving a purposeful life requires setting manageable goals and consistently aligning our actions with our aspirations. Each small, deliberate step becomes a building block toward a larger purpose. If you're committed to becoming a person of wisdom, courage, and integrity, daily habits like reading, reflection, and engaging in meaningful conversations become more than routine. They're part of your path. Every choice, no matter how small, should reflect the kind of person you wish to become. Imagine what a difference it could make to see every task, every conversation, as a piece of a larger mission rather than an isolated event. This perspective not only brings depth to each day, but also keeps your long-term vision alive and vibrant. Developing this long-term vision with a Stoic mindset means embracing the journey as much as the destination. Success isn't just about reaching your goals, but about the personal growth and insights gained along the way. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The obstacle is the way," meaning that the challenges we encounter aren't interruptions, they're essential parts of the path. By valuing each moment and seeing each struggle as part of our development, we learn that the journey itself holds as much significance as the outcome. This approach helps us foster patience and resilience, knowing that every experience, whether it's a triumph or a hardship, is helping us become the person we aspire to be. A Stoic vision of life isn't just about conventional self-improvement. It's about cultivating a deep understanding of our thoughts, behaviors, and motivations, and aligning them with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This inner work requires honest self-examination, turning inward to question and understand our reactions to the world around us. Why did I react in anger? What underlying fear is driving my behavior? How can I act in a way that's truer to my values next time? This level of introspection isn't always easy, but it's vital for true growth. As we grow more aware of our inner workings, we gain greater control over our reactions and emotions, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. A Stoic mindset, then, teaches us to ask challenging questions that foster clarity and purpose. What is my ultimate vision for my life? What steps can I take today to move closer to it? By reflecting on these questions regularly, we maintain our direction and stay aligned with our highest aspirations. This is the heart of Stoic living, a commitment to a purpose that transcends the chaos of life, a purpose that is resilient, adaptable, and grounded in enduring principles. 4. Reflect and grow. The Stoic practice of self-reflection includes a powerful technique called the evening review, a daily ritual of replaying the day's events in your mind, not to dwell on them, but to learn from them. Think of it as a nightly mental cleanup, a moment to pause and examine what went well, what didn't, and how you reacted. This practice encourages us to be vigilant about our actions and thoughts, assessing whether they align with our deeper values and personal goals. It's not about punishment or regret. Instead, it's an opportunity to solidify the day's lessons, giving us a clear foundation to face tomorrow with renewed focus and intention. As Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. And as the day ends, the evening review reminds us of that privilege again, helping us carry forward both wisdom and clarity." Stoicism also emphasizes the value of focusing on our own growth rather than comparing ourselves to others. In a world that often pressures us to measure our worth against external standards, this philosophy calls us to shift our gaze inward. Imagine the relief of letting go of that endless need to compete, of always measuring yourself against others' success, wealth, or achievements. Instead, as Epictetus taught, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The Stoic approach is simple yet profound. Strive to be better than you were yesterday, focusing on your own progress and values rather than on anyone else's journey. This inward focus is freeing and constructive. It not only nurtures self-improvement but also promotes self-acceptance, allowing us to acknowledge that while perfection is unreachable, meaningful growth is always within our grasp. When we stop comparing ourselves to others, we also reduce the dissatisfaction that often comes from chasing someone else's version of success. The Stoics believe that such comparisons distract us from what truly matters: our personal path, our progress, and our unique potential. How much time and energy do we waste worrying about what others are doing? What if, instead, we turned that energy inward, dedicating it to becoming a stronger, wiser version of ourselves? By focusing on our journey, we engage in a process that is both fulfilling and deeply transformative. This commitment to continual growth isn't about an impossible pursuit of perfection, but rather a steady, intentional path of self-improvement. Every day becomes an opportunity to grow, learn, and align more closely with our values. The evening review and the practice of self-comparison offer a roadmap for personal growth that is free from external validation, grounded in self-acceptance, and motivated by a genuine desire to become better. When we adopt these practices, we build resilience and peace, finding fulfillment in our own progress rather than in the fleeting approval of others. So, tonight, as you reflect on your day, ask yourself, did I live according to my values today? Did I respond with wisdom and patience, or is there an area I can improve? These questions guide us toward a mindset that's focused, resilient, and dedicated to personal evolution, creating a life not defined by what we achieve compared to others, but by the strength and wisdom we cultivate within. 5. Mastering adversity. Self-reflection is at the heart of developing a mindset that can handle anything life throws our way. The Stoics understood the importance of taking time to look inward, and they used practices like meditation and journaling not to dwell on mistakes or replay negative experiences, but to find valuable insights that could lead to growth and resilience. This process of reflection allows us to distill lessons from each experience, especially from moments of adversity, helping us to better understand ourselves and to build a more resilient, wiser self with every challenge faced. Now, imagine going through a setback at work, like missing a big opportunity or making a costly error. Instead of fixating on what went wrong, a Stoic would encourage you to ask, "What did I learn?" And "How can I apply this lesson going forward?" This reflective mindset is like fine-tuning an internal compass, guiding us with greater clarity and wisdom through life's ups and downs. But dealing with adversity also requires a certain level of detachment from outcomes. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our reactions, our attitudes, and our choices. This doesn't mean we stop caring about results or lose our passion. Rather, it means that we don't allow external conditions to shake our inner peace. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By cultivating this inner tranquility, we become less affected by external chaos, allowing us to act in line with our values regardless of the situation. Take, for example, a person facing a difficult financial situation. While it's natural to feel stressed, the Stoic approach would encourage them to focus on constructive actions, budgeting, seeking solutions, and maintaining a calm mindset, instead of being overwhelmed by worry about the future. This inner steadiness gives us the ability to face adversity with composure, making us stronger, clearer, and more capable in the face of life's uncertainties. In the Stoic view, adversity isn't merely something to overcome. It's an essential part of our journey toward wisdom and virtue. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine our character, to strengthen our resolve, and to develop a deeper sense of compassion and understanding. Instead of seeing struggles as obstacles, Stoics view them as fuel for growth, as catalysts that push us further along our path of self-mastery. When we go through hardship and rise above it, we're not just surviving. We're becoming better versions of ourselves with new insights and an increased capacity to lead lives of purpose. This approach doesn't just benefit us, it also has a ripple effect. By handling adversity with grace and resilience, we set an example for others, potentially inspiring them to face their own challenges with courage and strength. Think about those who inspire you. Often, it's not their successes, but the way they've handled failure, loss, or hardship that leaves a lasting impression. True leadership, according to Stoicism, isn't about control or power over others. It's about living with integrity and leading by example. The Stoics believed that real leaders are those who govern themselves with wisdom and justice, whose actions align with their principles, and who inspire others by the strength of their character rather than by authority or title. Consider the influence of someone who consistently acts with kindness, fairness, and resilience. Their quiet strength speaks louder than any words. This kind of leadership builds genuine trust and respect, creating a positive impact on those around them. By focusing on building our own character and acting ethically, we naturally develop a form of influence that's more lasting and profound than any position or title could offer. The Stoic path encourages us not just to endure hardships, but to actively transform them into stepping stones toward a wiser, more fulfilled, and impactful life. In doing so, we grow in resilience and also become a source of hope and strength for others, guiding them perhaps unknowingly by the way we live. 6. Stoic Leadership. Leadership, according to Stoic philosophy, begins not with commanding others, but with mastering oneself. True leadership is rooted in self-discipline, emotional balance, and decision-making guided by virtue, not personal ambition. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A Stoic leader exemplifies courage in the face of challenges, temperance in the midst of temptation, prudence in their decisions, and justice in their treatment of others. These virtues are not just ideals but daily practices, reflected in every action, every word, and every choice. When a leader embodies these qualities, they don't need to demand respect. It flows naturally from the example they set, creating a ripple effect that inspires those around them to strive for their own betterment. But Stoic leadership extends far beyond personal mastery. It's deeply tied to service. A Stoic leader is not concerned with status or power, but with the well-being of others in the community. This philosophy challenges us to ask, how can I serve, rather than, what can I gain? By focusing on helping others grow and succeed, Stoic leaders foster trust, loyalty, and a sense of purpose among those they guide. Clear and honest communication is another cornerstone of Stoic leadership. The Stoics taught that words have power, and a leader's ability to articulate their vision, listen to others, and find common ground is critical. A Stoic leader speaks not to dominate but to enlighten, resolve conflicts, and foster understanding. They listen with patience, seeking to understand before being understood. This kind of communication not only strengthens their influence but also reinforces their reputation as fair and reliable. Picture a community leader who, in times of crisis, listens to concerns without judgment, provides clarity without creating panic, and makes decisions transparently. This blend of empathy and decisiveness calms uncertainty and builds confidence in their leadership. Resilience and adaptability are equally vital in Stoic leadership. Life is unpredictable, and no leader is immune to external challenges, whether they come in the form of a global crisis, organizational upheaval, or personal setbacks. What sets a Stoic leader apart is their ability to maintain composure and focus when faced with uncertainty. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A Stoic leader approaches challenges with a calm mind, recognizing that while they can't control every event, they can control their response. This stability acts as an anchor for others, guiding them through storms with clarity and courage. A defining characteristic of a Stoic leader is their commitment to lifelong learning and reflection. Leadership is not static. It's a continuous journey of growth, self-assessment, and improvement. Stoic leaders regularly evaluate their actions and decisions, seeking feedback and remaining open to change. This humility and dedication to growth ensure that they are always evolving, becoming not just better leaders, but better human beings. Seneca's advice resonates here. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Through reflection, Stoic leaders refine their understanding of what it means to lead ethically and effectively, aligning their actions with the values they hold dear. This reflective process isn't about dwelling on mistakes or seeking perfection. It's about understanding the lessons embedded in every experience. By looking back thoughtfully, leaders can appreciate their growth, identify areas for improvement, and recalibrate their path forward. Whether it's learning from a challenging decision or celebrating progress made, reflection anchors leadership in purpose and principle. Ultimately, Stoic leadership isn't about wielding power but about serving with wisdom, guiding with integrity, and inspiring others to strive for their own highest potential. Are you someone with a closed mindset? Is your mindset truly open? We all know that growth and success require an open mindset. But here's the real question. How open is yours? Are you genuinely open-minded, partially there, or still loading? Let's face it, no one is perfectly open-minded. Life's experiences, biases, and ingrained beliefs sneak into our thinking, shaping how we see the world. But here's the good news. Recognizing the signs of a closed mindset is the first step to breaking free. By identifying what holds you back and gradually shifting your perspective, you can shed old biases, let go of ego, and embrace a mindset ready to thrive. Ready to uncover your full potential? Let's get started. 1. Closed-minded people avoid challenges to their opinions. A closed-minded person often resists challenges to their opinions, and it's not hard to understand why. It all boils down to ego. How often do we see people who are absolutely convinced they are right, smarter, or more skilled than others? Yet they rarely stop to consider the possibility that someone else might hold a valid perspective, or that they themselves could be mistaken. This mindset is not only limiting but also damaging because it builds a wall around growth. Here's the truth. Everyone, regardless of how experienced or knowledgeable they are, is capable of being right or wrong. The key difference lies in whether they're open to recognizing it. When we process incomplete or inaccurate information as if it's the ultimate truth, we set ourselves up for failure. After all, if the foundation of our thoughts is based on flawed data or assumptions, how can the outcome be anything but flawed? Let's make this relatable. Imagine being in a team meeting where someone is presenting a new idea that challenges the way things have always been done. A closed-minded person might immediately dismiss the idea, clinging to their belief that the current way is better or simply shutting down, because the new suggestion threatens their sense of control. Now think about how this affects the dynamic. Does progress happen, or does innovation stall because one person's ego has created a roadblock? On the flip side, someone with an open mindset listens, considers, and even questions constructively, fostering collaboration and breakthroughs. Here's a quick story to drive the point home. Meet Alex, a senior manager at a tech company who was known for never backing down in debates. His team dreaded presenting fresh ideas because Alex often shut them down with, "I've been doing this for years, trust me, I know better." Over time, innovation in the team stagnated, and younger employees began leaving for companies where they felt heard. It wasn't until a client rejected one of Alex's big proposals, citing outdated methods, that he realized his rigidity was costing not just opportunities, but respect. Alex made a conscious effort to shift gears. He began by inviting feedback and allowing space for counter-arguments. Gradually, his team felt empowered to contribute, and their collective success soared. When we refuse to accept criticism or consider alternative perspectives, we're not just protecting our ego, we're shutting ourselves off from growth, wisdom, and connection. Humility is the gateway to an open mind. By letting go of the need to always be right, we make room for collaboration, new ideas, and better solutions. It's not about surrendering your beliefs, but about testing them against others to ensure they hold up. True strength lies not in the rigidity of our opinions, but in the flexibility of our thinking. When you approach life with the understanding that everyone has something to teach you, every interaction becomes an opportunity to grow. As you encounter resistance within yourself or others, remember this story and these questions. What's more important, being right in the moment or being better in the long run? Growth requires courage, curiosity, and the willingness to embrace discomfort. Start small, listen more, judge less, and invite feedback. You'll be amazed at how much stronger and wiser your mindset becomes when you choose to be open. 2. They jump to conclusions instead of asking questions. Have you ever caught yourself or someone else jumping to conclusions without really understanding the full picture? Closed-minded people are often quick to judge, operating under the belief that their perspective is the ultimate truth. You've probably heard phrases like, "I think," or "in my opinion," followed by statements that sound definitive but lack depth or context. This behavior, rooted in ego and impatience, is a classic hallmark of a closed mindset. When we assume we already know the answers, we close ourselves off to learning, understanding, and growth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely observed, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Yet many of us act as though the opposite is true, listening just long enough to formulate our next response instead of genuinely seeking to understand. This tendency to pass judgment without asking questions isn't just a bad habit. It's a barrier to building meaningful relationships, solving problems, and embracing new ideas. Think about the last time you were in a heated discussion. Were you truly curious about the other person's point of view, or were you more focused on defending your own? When we stop asking questions, we fall into the trap of believing our limited experiences define universal truths. This kind of thinking makes it nearly impossible to grow because it blinds us to perspectives that could challenge and ultimately strengthen our understanding of the world. In a workplace scenario where a manager hears about a missed deadline and immediately assumes laziness or incompetence on the part of their employee, without asking why or exploring the circumstances, they deliver harsh criticism. But what if the employee had been dealing with a personal emergency or an unforeseen obstacle? By failing to ask questions, the manager not only damages trust, but also misses an opportunity to address the real issue and improve the team's process. How often do we make similar assumptions in our daily lives, jumping to conclusions without seeking clarity? The solution lies in embracing curiosity over judgment. Instead of saying, "I know why this happened," try asking, "What led to this outcome?" Instead of declaring, "And you're wrong," consider asking, "Why do you see it that way?" This shift in approach transforms conversations from confrontational to collaborative and opens the door to learning and growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, reminds us in Meditations, "If someone can show me I am wrong, I will gladly change. For I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." This attitude is the cornerstone of a resilient and adaptable mindset. Now, ask yourself, how often do you genuinely seek to understand before forming an opinion? Do you ask questions to uncover the truth, or do you settle for surface-level assumptions? It's easy to let our egos convince us that we're right, but the strongest minds are those that admit they don't know everything and actively seek out new perspectives. Every time you pause to ask a question, instead of jumping to a conclusion, you create space for wisdom to grow. Trade your judgments for curiosity, your assumptions for questions, and your ego for a genuine desire to learn. By doing so, you not only develop a mindset capable of overcoming challenges, but also build stronger connections with those around you. Remember, the goal isn't to win every argument or prove yourself right. It's to uncover the truth and grow as a person. 3. They focus on being understood rather than understanding others. It's a common trap to believe that the world owes us understanding. Closed-minded individuals often find themselves stuck in this mindset, playing the victim and pointing fingers when things don't go their way. They blame circumstances, people, or even luck for their challenges, expecting everyone to align with their perspective while making little effort to understand anyone else's. This mindset, while tempting in moments of frustration, is deeply limiting and prevents meaningful connections from forming. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But how often do we act in reverse, demanding to be heard while failing to truly listen to others? Relationships, whether personal or professional, thrive on mutual understanding. Life is not a one-way street where others are responsible for catering to our needs and emotions. Instead, it's a dynamic exchange of perspectives, experiences, and efforts. When we focus solely on being understood, we risk isolating ourselves. Over time, this self-centered approach erodes trust and empathy in relationships, leaving us feeling even more disconnected and misunderstood. Modern life is rife with examples of this behavior: social media arguments, workplace conflicts, or even family disputes where people talk past one another, each side fixated on proving their point. In a common scenario, you're in a disagreement with a friend or colleague. Your instinct might be to defend your stance, listing all the reasons why you're right and they're wrong. But what if instead you paused and asked, "Can you help me understand where you're coming from?" This simple shift changes the entire dynamic. Suddenly, the conversation becomes about collaboration rather than conflict. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless Meditations, reminds us, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This reflection helps us step out of our own perspective and into someone else's shoes, a critical step in overcoming the self-centeredness of a closed mind. The truth is, focusing on understanding others doesn't just benefit them, it transforms us. By listening and empathizing, we gain insights that broaden our worldview and challenge our assumptions. It's a process that makes us more adaptable, resilient, and capable of handling life's complexities. Here's the practical advice. The next time you feel frustrated that someone isn't getting you, pause and ask yourself whether you've truly made the effort to understand them. Look for opportunities to ask questions rather than give answers, to listen rather than interrupt, Over time, this practice not only improves your relationships, but also deepens your own wisdom and emotional intelligence. As the Stoics teach, understanding others is a cornerstone of leading a harmonious and fulfilling life. The goal isn't to win every argument or force others to align with your views. It's to create a space where mutual respect and understanding can flourish. This is where true strength lies, not in demanding attention, but in earning respect through humility, patience, and empathy. 4. I could be wrong, but here's my opinion. How often have you heard someone say, "I could be wrong, but here's my opinion"? It seems like a humble phrase at first glance, doesn't it? But dig a little deeper, and you'll often find that it's not humility at all. It's a mask for stubbornness. This phrase frequently serves as a preemptive shield, deflecting critique while subtly reinforcing the speaker's belief in the unchanging truth of their perspective. Those who use it might appear open-minded, but their intent is rarely to invite dialogue or reconsider their stance. Instead, their words often reflect an unwillingness to adapt, a sign of a fixed and rigid mindset. When someone says, "I could be wrong," yet clings to their opinion without truly listening or being open to opposing ideas, it begs the question, are they genuinely seeking understanding, or are they simply ensuring their voice dominates the conversation? Take a moment to reflect on modern interactions, work meetings, online debates, or even family discussions. How often do people use statements like this to state their position, only to become defensive the moment their views are challenged? It's a subtle form of intellectual self-sabotage. By pretending to leave the door open for feedback, yet bolting it shut when anyone actually steps forward, they lose the chance to grow. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This is the heart of the problem. When we use phrases like this without truly meaning them, we cut ourselves off from the opportunity to learn and evolve. Let me share a story to illustrate this idea. Picture a team leader, Sarah, tasked with revamping her company's marketing strategy. In a brainstorming session, she begins her pitch with, "I could be wrong, but here's what I think," and then lays out a plan. When her colleagues raise questions or suggest alternative approaches, Sarah deflects them. She defends her original ideas to the point that no one feels comfortable contributing anymore. Her insistence on being right not only stifles innovation, but also alienates her team. In the end, her plan fails to deliver results, not because it was inherently flawed, but because it lacked the collective wisdom of diverse perspectives. Now let's flip the perspective. What if Sarah had said, "I could be wrong, and I'd love your thoughts to help make this idea stronger"? What if she approached the conversation with a genuine desire to learn rather than to defend? That subtle shift changes everything. It turns a monologue into a dialogue, opening the floor to collaboration, growth, and new ideas. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully in Meditations when he wrote, "If anyone can refute me and prove me wrong, I will gladly change. It is the truth I seek, which has never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance." These words remind us of the power in humility and the strength in admitting that our views are not infallible. Not the kind of surface-level openness where you nod politely but secretly resist, but real, vulnerable openness where you're willing to let go of your pride to embrace a better idea. How often do you use phrases like "I could be wrong" as a genuine invitation to learn rather than a polite way to dismiss feedback? This isn't just about language, it's about mindset. A fixed mindset says, "I know enough and I'm comfortable where I am," while a growth mindset says, "What can I learn from this moment to improve?" Here's a practical takeaway. The next time you find yourself about to say, "I could be wrong, but," pause and ask yourself if you're truly ready to hear and consider other perspectives. Instead, try reframing your approach by saying, "This is my view, but I'd like to hear yours too. What am I missing?" By doing this, you invite collaboration and demonstrate a willingness to learn, which are cornerstones of resilience and personal growth. True strength lies not in rigidly holding on to our opinions, but in our ability to adapt, learn, and grow. In a world that constantly challenges us, this is the mindset that will allow you to overcome anything. Ein the 2I. 5. They dominate conversations and dismiss other voices. Have you ever been in a conversation where one person takes control of the entire discussion, interrupting others, dismissing opinions, and making it all about themselves? Their behavior shouts, "Look at me. My ideas matter more than anyone else's." This isn't just frustrating, it's toxic, and it can sabotage relationships, teams, and even personal growth. When someone dominates conversations this way, they're not just trying to share their perspective. They're often trying to validate their ego, to feel seen and heard at the expense of others. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "It is not what others say or do that hurts us, but our own response." Think about how this behavior affects a group dynamic. In a workplace, for example, someone who constantly interrupts or speaks over others stifles creativity and trust. Imagine a team meeting where a single individual pushes their agenda, disregarding input from the group. The result? Ideas are lost, frustration builds, and the collective wisdom of the team is wasted. This isn't just a workplace problem. It happens in families, friendships, and even social gatherings. The person dominating the conversation might think they're being persuasive or assertive, but in reality, they're eroding the very connections they seek to strengthen. The Stoics teach us the importance of humility and self-awareness in communication. Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple principle is a reminder that true wisdom lies not in dominating a discussion, but in creating space for others to share their perspectives. When we listen more and talk less, we foster trust, understanding, and collaboration. But this isn't always easy, especially when we feel strongly about something or when our ego gets in the way. If your goal is to impress, you may find yourself interrupting, dismissing others, or steering the conversation back to yourself. But if your goal is to express and to connect, you'll naturally pause, listen, and create space for others to contribute. This shift isn't about silencing yourself. It's about building a dialogue where all voices matter. By doing so, you'll find that your ideas resonate more deeply because they're shared in a context of mutual respect. Here's a practical approach to try. In your next conversation, commit to listening fully before responding. Instead of preparing your next point while someone else is speaking, focus entirely on what they're saying. Ask follow-up questions to show you're engaged and genuinely interested. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This means holding yourself accountable for creating a space where others feel valued, even when it's challenging. The lesson here is simple, yet profound. If you want to grow, lead, or build stronger relationships, learn to share the stage. The best communicators are not those who speak the most, but those who listen with intention and respond with empathy. Remember, every voice has value, including yours. But the true art of conversation lies in ensuring everyone feels heard. If you've made it this far, you're already on the path to an unshakable mindset. Drop a comment saying, "I am unstoppable," to show your commitment to mastering resilience. Stay tuned. Your journey to strength and clarity is just getting started. 6. They refuse to entertain 2 conflicting ideas at once. One of the most limiting traits of a closed-minded individual is their inability to entertain 2 conflicting ideas at once. For them, it's always my way or the highway, and any alternative perspective is met with resistance. This rigidity isn't just frustrating for those around them, it also severely limits their own growth and adaptability. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote reminds us that the very challenges we face, including conflicting ideas, are opportunities for growth if we approach them with an open mind. Yet those who refuse to see beyond their own perspective miss this entirely, building walls instead of bridges. Consider how this rigidity plays out in modern life. Let's say you're managing a project at work, and someone suggests a strategy that conflicts with your own approach. A closed-minded response might be to dismiss their idea outright, assuming that your experience or position automatically makes your perspective superior. But what if their idea, while different, offers a new angle that could enhance the project's success? By refusing to entertain conflicting ideas, you don't just risk losing valuable insights, you also stifle collaboration and create an environment where innovation dies. This kind of stubbornness often stems from fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of losing control, or fear of the unknown. But here's the truth. Growth and progress demand that we confront these fears head-on. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom applies perfectly to situations involving conflicting ideas. Instead of seeing alternative viewpoints as threats, what if we saw them as opportunities to refine our thinking? Accepting the coexistence of multiple ideas doesn't mean abandoning your beliefs. It means holding them up to the light of scrutiny to see if they truly hold value. When you do this, you may find that the tension between two ideas leads to a stronger, more nuanced understanding of the issue at hand. How often do you resist ideas that challenge your own? Do you find yourself shutting down conversations or avoiding situations where your perspective might be questioned? If so, you're not alone. It's human nature to gravitate towards certainty and comfort, but the Stoics teach us that true strength lies in embracing the discomfort of uncertainty. When you allow yourself to hold two conflicting ideas in your mind, you build resilience, sharpen your critical thinking, and open the door to solutions you might never have considered otherwise. Flexibility of thought is not a weakness. It's a strength. Life is rarely black and white, and the ability to navigate its complexities requires us to see and respect shades of gray. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, "If anyone can prove and show to me that I think and act in error, I will gladly change it, for I seek the truth, which harms no one." This is the mindset that overcomes anything, one that is unafraid to question itself and strong enough to grow in the face of challenge. 7. They lack humility. One of the clearest signs of a closed mindset is the absence of humility. A large ego often accompanies this trait, making it almost impossible for individuals to accept being outshined or criticized. They react defensively, refusing to acknowledge the possibility that someone else's ideas or abilities could hold value. This arrogance acts like a thick fog, blinding them to new ideas and shutting the door on opportunities for personal growth and long-term success. It's as if they've built a fortress around their sense of self, where every suggestion, critique, or opposing opinion feels like an attack to be repelled rather than a gift to be considered. Epictetus put it best when he said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When arrogance takes root, the mind becomes closed, cutting off the very pathways that lead to growth and wisdom. Think about how this lack of humility plays out in real life. Perhaps you've worked with someone who couldn't admit their mistakes, no matter how obvious. When things went wrong, they deflected blame onto others, refusing to take accountability. Or maybe you've seen someone reject helpful feedback simply because they couldn't bear the thought of not being perfect. These behaviors aren't just frustrating for those around them, they also rob these individuals of the chance to improve and deepen their understanding. And the effects can be far-reaching, spilling into relationships, careers, and personal development. Without humility, they stagnate, locked into patterns of thinking that limit their potential. Now think about your own life. Have there been moments when you struggled to accept criticism or found it hard to acknowledge someone else's success? How did it feel, and what impact did it have on your ability to grow? These are important questions to ask because humility isn't about diminishing yourself. It's about making room for improvement. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, receive without pride, let go without attachment. This wisdom teaches us to approach life with an open heart and mind, recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers to succeed. Cultivating humility starts with small but powerful steps. First, learn to embrace feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. Instead of reacting defensively, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Second, practice celebrating the success of others without comparing it to your own. This shift not only strengthens relationships but also helps you see collaboration as a pathway to growth rather than a threat to your ego. Finally, remind yourself that no one has all the answers, not even you. The greatest minds in history, from Socrates to modern innovators, thrived not because they claimed to know everything, but because they were relentlessly curious and open to learning. Humility is not a weakness. It is one of the greatest strengths you can cultivate. It allows you to see beyond your own limitations, inviting new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities into your life. By choosing humility, you not only grow as a person, but also inspire those around you to do the same. Remember, a truly resilient and adaptable mindset isn't built on arrogance, but on the courage to learn, the grace to listen, and the wisdom to grow. Thank you for joining us here at Stoic in Your Life. Developing a mindset that can overcome anything isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a daily practice, a journey of growth and transformation. Start small. See challenges as lessons. Reflect with gratitude and step outside your comfort zone. These principles, when applied consistently, won't just strengthen your mindset. They'll reshape your entire approach to life, bringing resilience and clarity to every moment. Now let me ask you, which Stoic principle will you commit to practicing today? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's encourage each other on this path of inner strength. And before you go, explore one of our suggested videos to dive deeper into Stoic philosophy. Together, we're creating lives grounded in purpose and fortified by wisdom.